Okay, so I would like to show how to use the state machine. I've opened the demo scene for this, and there you'll find a node called StateMachine, under which you'll find pet. The pet has a StateMachine script attached to it. It has two states defined. One is sleeping, and the other one is awake. I've set the start state to sleeping. This name has to match one of the states under states. The different states have events, start and stop. They will execute when the state machine goes into the state, when it leaves the state. The pet has two states, one is sleeping, one is awake. When the sleeping state starts, I make the animator play the sleeping state, which is the animation that I made for my pet being asleep. Also, I change one of the scripts that's on the pet to stop following the player. So when it falls asleep, it stops following the player and it shows the sleeping animation. The awake state changes the animator to the awake animation, showing the pet in an awake state, and it tells the script to start following the player. In order to wake the pet, I have a trigger set up. It's right above the pet, it's called Pet Wake Zone. Pet Wake Zone has a box collider that's set to isTrigger. In this case, I'm using a conditional trigger to check if the player enters that zone. Under conditions, I check for the name of the item that's currently colliding, and that name should be player capsule. So when this condition is met, when an object named player capsule enters the trigger, so in other words, when the player enters this zone, the box here, this event will fire. I drag the pet here on the left side, and on the right side I use StateMachine, set state, and then I fill in the name of that state is awake. So when the player enters the zone, the pet will go into the awake state. Let's see this in action. So currently it starts with the pet being asleep. You can see that it displays the sleeping animation and it's currently not following the player. But once the player hits the zone, the pet will display the other animation, the wake animation, and it starts following the player. I'll show another example in the burger scene. There's two state machines being demonstrated. One is the patty, the burger. It starts in the uncooked state. When I move it to the cooking station, the variable goes up and it will change the state to cooked. And then the customer also has states. I can, for instance, make it annoyed by giving it lettuce. Or make it happy by supplying a bun, a cheese, and a patty. It's very picky. Wait, I have to move that here. No! Alright, let's you do it. Yay! So those are applications of state machines in our project.